Hello, everybody. Welcome out to the Death Battle Cast, the only show on the internet where you can hear all sorts of nerdy things that only us can talk about. People who work on such a show as Death Battle. I'm Ben. I play Wiz.
I'm Nick. I am a writer on the show sometimes.
Sam, I write the things he doesn't write.
Yep.
And I'm Chad, the boomstick. Hey.
That works. That works.
That was good.
Good job. You write sometimes, and when you're not writing, he takes over.
Yeah.
Nick writes an episode, and then Sam basically writes the episode after that, interchanging kind of thing.
You almost knocked over
I
your
almost
water.
spilled
Would've
my
been a good
water
start.
all over the place. That would have been a great start. We
It's
were
the
just
only
cleaning
way
water the whole
this
time.
beginning of the show could get better.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, thank you to Dollar Shave Club for helping us by sponsoring this episode of the Death Battle Cast. We'll let you know what great deals you can get with them later on in the show. But right now, we've got Venom versus Bane coming up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really soon. And Venom's preview just went up this past week, I believe.
Yep.
Poor Eddie Brock. that's the summary of the preview. Is his life sucks.
Eddie's life is every so often we will come across a character who has an origin story that is just hilarious to read about, either for good or bad reasons. You know, like Hulk is just silly. You know, Doomsday in particular was one of the silliest I've read through.
Oh, that was so much fun to talk
time.
about, though. Bertrand.
Eddie's is
Good times.
just depressing.
But you put a couple of those factors in there, it's depressing, but then it just keeps adding them to the point where it just becomes hilarious. Because this is not a real person, and it's okay to laugh at him.
Yeah, it just goes overboard on like just piling on this
it's like
story.
everything that exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Everything that could go wrong. Everything that could go wrong with this guy did go wrong.
Basically, like it's hard to imagine how it could have gotten worse. Like maybe he lost a limb or something. That's about it.
He's not disabled or anything like that.
No, but Flash Thompson, one of the later owners of the symbiote, was, ironically enough.
He's just making up for it. All right.
No, he got, let's see, he published the article and then got discredited by Spider-Man.
Well, hold on, you're getting a little bit ahead of yourself here.
His life sucks, not just that one moment.
Yeah. Listen, like his mom died in childbirth. His dad had this resentment toward Eddie for his entire life because she died. He blames her, even though it's not like he chose to be born anyway. And then it's okay. This is fitting, but like in the words of Bane, there cannot be true despair without hope. So before we bring him down, we build Eddie up. He's got big aspirations for life. He wants to be the world's best journalist. And he's about to get his big break, or so he thinks, when he publicly is going to bust this serial killer's
Prove himself
identity.
to that dad who's hated him all his life.
Yeah.
Finally get his place in the sun.
And then, Chad.
Yes, he goes and publishes this article, and then like literally that day, Spider-Man shows up. He's like, no, it's actually this guy. Here he is. I caught
Next
him.
door, actually, to the. I don't think we mentioned that in the
Really, it's
episode.
next door?
But the dude who is actually the murderer is living next door to the guy that Eddie Brock believed was the murderer.
Oh man, he was so close.
Yeah, he's so close. And then his wife leaves him or something like that.
And then
And
his
then he
dad
gets cancer,
completely
too.
he had
disowns him.
cancer before too, so
And
his life sucks.
Not good to be Eddie Brock.
Poor dude.
that's when the alien slime monster came into his life and
Let's
Turned
hate
it
stuff
into its own
together
thing.
with
Yeah.
powers. And he's like, okay,
At least he got a friend,
sure.
kind of.
sure.
Is
Psychotic.
That?
Yeah, is the symbiote like technically a parasite or like how's that
No,
work?
It's an alien.
Technically, in biology, it goes like this: parasites feed off of a host to the host's whatever the opposite of benefit is. I can't think of the word.
Detriment,
Yeah. So it helps the parasite, but not the
Language,
host.
yeah.
In symbiosis, it's beneficial to both.
Okay.
Right.
It's like the little fishies that live on sharks and stuff.
Yeah. Or like little birds that pick the hippo's teeth.
Exactly.
Yeah, like that.
You nailed it, Sam.
Got it.
Because
Got it,
they
everybody.
clean him.
So which one in this case is the shark and which one is the little fishy?
I mean, I'm sure Eddie's feeling like the little fishy at this point.
Probably.
Well, that's hard though because technically, like, it's a health benefit to the shark. It's a whale, actually, I believe. But
Probably
because
both.
the little,
I think it's multiple
because little
different-
things that feed off of that, they keep them clean and keep them from getting sick, right?
Yeah.
It's part. With the cancer, the symbiote suit actually prevented his cancer from overwhelming and killing him. So there's that.
Also made
Who knows?
Eddie stronger.
Yeah.
It's
prolonged
not a
his life.
perfect comparison.
It's not.
But it's quite close enough.
But they got sharp teeth.
True.
Okay.
They-
No, great. This is the ultimate debate. Who is whale and who is little fish? Stunning.
Yeah. See, this is what the Death Battle cast is all about.
Pointless debate.
But we do need to get to the other debate that we need to talk about, the Death
Nice
Battle, community Death Battle. We do this every single week. We present a Death Battle on the show, and we hand it over to you guys. You can send over your answers. Let us know who you think would win by using the hashtag Death Battle Cast. It's down there in the corner. See, I can
There you go.
I can
There
touch
you
it.
go.
You got it.
Yeah, use that on Twitter. You can send us questions and comments regarding Death Battle and answers for the community Death Battles. And last week's, I
so
unfortunately
excited.
was not here.
Yeah.
And neither
Last
was
week?
I, so I don't know what it is.
But apparently, you guys dropped the fun Death Battle that we've talked about for years, and I wasn't even here to talk about it.
Nope.
I'm disappointed.
It was the Kool-Aid Man versus Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah versus oh no.
Yes. So I stayed out of this one because Ben, I've dug into this a bit. So
We've talked about this one for a long time.
Yeah, and so I was
I
like,
would not be surprised if it does eventually find itself to Death Battle or DBX at some point.
at the very least, it will be a DBX. I
has to at this point.
Yeah, it definitely needs to be. I'm very much looking forward to seeing the answers that people came up
Well,
with.
I mean, what were you guys talking about last time? Just kinda catch me up.
I was team Macho Man Randy Savage. I can't remember exactly why, but the Kool-Aid Man is made of glass. Yes, it is glass tough enough to overpower bricks.
It's pretty tough.
But
class.
he's Macho Man Randy Savage is a wrestler. He goes up against things tougher than bricks.
The glass is slippery.
sure.
How is he going to grapple it?
He's got a handle.
Yeah, it has a
It
handle.
does have a
design
handle.
He literally,
But it's
he's
handles
got a
its
handle on
arms, I
it.
thought.
Either way, he's got arms to grab.
Yeah,
He's a
It's
wrestler.
different depending on like the
Yeah.
year that the Kool-Aid Man
And also,
exists.
you could scoop him up from in between his legs too, and like just tip him over.
He does have
But
those little
I know-
legs, right? That kind of waddles
I know
around.
one of the,
Yeah.
the popular YouTube channel Vsauce. I don't know if it's 1, 2, or 3, but one of them did an episode on the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah. It was assuming that the Kool-Aid inside him is his blood,
lifeblood,
his
yeah.
life force.
It's not.
Which it's not the case.
Yeah,
as
it's
it
not
turns
the
out.
case.
But it was a
But
fun
We were
video.
looking into that
Also-
too. There's a commercial where he changes it out, doesn't he?
Yeah, so there was I dropped that for them last time. I was like, the one thing I do want you to know going in, the only insight I'll provide into the battle is that the liquid, his soul does not reside in the liquid, it resides in the glass because there have been times when he's changed it or been shown walking around without any liquid
Yes,
in the
this
picture.
is the podcast for Death Battle, by the way. If that little thing in particular wasn't enough to indicate how freaking nerdy we are,
Yeah. His soul's in the glass.
his soul is not in the juice, it is in the glass.
One question about that instance, though. How long was he without liquid inside him?
Oh, I don't remember.
Was
All
it a-
night.
was
I
it
believe
like-
he was sleeping. I think he was sleeping and he
Yeah,
woke
unless
up and
he has a
oh,
lid.
he put in the
couldn't
juice
sleep
like a
laying
shirt,
down.
almost like you put on clothes.
Okay,
to
I
go to
think
work.
so. Okay,
I think that's
okay.
what the commercial was. I'd have to double check. It's been a long time since I've
Because
seen
if
that.
it was like 2 seconds without, I wouldn't.
Every
Yeah.
time he's changing out liquids, he's like, I gotta hurry, or I'll dry out, or something.
Something like that.
I mean, Iron Man does that with his little magnet heart. Like,
I get-
he does the same shit, right?
Do you think
same
Kool-Aid
thing.
Man has a similar backstory where he was captured by terrorists and something like that?
you
It's
know,
actually a person.
I don't know.
They turned him into glass steadily?
That was
Turned him into glass.
whenever,
I don't even know how that
whenever
works.
the Fantastic Four, had their whole thing. They just didn't mention they had a pitcher on board, and they just kind of pushed it under the rug that it became a sentient monster.
Or it was like the waiter
Yeah.
who came along with them, and he was carrying a pitcher, and then he got hit by the nuclear rays and merged with the pitcher.
Definitely
Or
possible.
like the Fantastic Four, they're like asleep and just like faintly reverberating throughout the space station. They just hear, "Oh yeah." Somebody
So-
says
Have
something. You hear
recurring
that?
dreams about this.
No, I
They
got
have
it.
no idea why.
If you want to put him in kind of the Iron Man scenario, so something could have happened to him that it gave him opposite diabetes. So he needs to have a lot of sugar at all times. So he constructed a suit that would provide him with this limitless supply of sugar water.
Yeah, if he can turn himself into a glass monster, I don't really think diabetes is as
opposite
large
diabetes,
of
yeah.
a hurdle.
Can you
Opposite
imagine?
diabetes isn't like, he no longer has organs. How does he still have opposite diabetes?
I don't know.
And the glass obviously doesn't absorb the stuff.
It could. Very
not that we've
slowly
ever
over
seen.
time.
Whatever. Well, let's find out what you guys decided
Yeah.
for this matchup. Oh,
I'm
geez.
excited.
John, can you bring it up?
All right.
Thank you.
Pepe the Unicorn says KAM, okay,
Kool-Aid Man.
Kool-Aid Man, would win because he has broken a steel ship in the vacuum of space and time traveled through time to the revolution. Holy shit.
Wow.
There was a Kool-Aid Man comic book? Is
Yeah.
that what I'm seeing
It
here?
looks like it might be on the packets of
Yeah,
Kool-Aid.
I think they were little thingies.
I think
It looks like a comic book.
Wow.
That's insane. I have to see this closer.
Holy shit.
Did he actually travel through time, or has he been around that
No,
long?
it says time machine.
thought that
It looks like it's almost like a weird version of Bill and Ted. He's like jumping out of a phone booth almost.
But is that okay? So that's somebody else's time machine. I don't think that's Kool-Aid Man's time machine. He just happened.
No, but he has
upon
the
one.
experience of traveling through time.
Yeah, I mean, he went back to the revolution to provide them with what?
What are those
Kool-Aid.
things?
Kool-Aid.
I guess.
To energize them with sugar.
Also,
That's how
which
they-
side? Like, are
Which
they letting us
side?
know? Yeah.
For the South! He jumps
Wait,
out.
where was Kool-Aid?
No, the revolution, not Civil War.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
sorry, sorry.
Wow.
Forget
Hey,
the.
I'm
Yo,
still gonna
whoa!
say which side. Like,
Sorry,
Well,
sorry.
where was Kool-Aid invented? Is it an American?
I would assume
Maybe.
so.
What is he
I'm
gonna
not
go
sure.
back and swap out the tea? It's not gonna be the Boston Tea Party. It's the Boston Kool-Aid Party.
Well, if you listen to his accent, it's distinctly not British.
Yeah,
That seems
but
clear to me.
still,
Yep.
that means the Kool-Aid Man might not be the biggest fan of England.
Maybe, but look,
What is
is
getting
he fighting
electrocuted?
aliens? Yeah, that's. Let me
what I
follow
wanted
into
to
that
I
right
think
there.
those aliens are little electric monster things.
Yeah, because one of them was reaching out with his hand.
Or it's a couple
Well,
Zapdos
regardless,
on a spaceship, maybe.
we do know that he cannot just break through brick. He can break through a steel spaceship.
And survive the vacuum of space. None of your business says Kool-Aid Man will win because he can burst through walls no problem and he's heavy, so he could just sit on Macho Man.
Actually, that is a good point, though. Like, a pitcher that size, like imagine he's 6 feet tall.
Full of liquid.
He's really tall, but he's also really wide. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then fill that with liquid, that's gonna get really
Yeah.
heavy really quick.
How heavy is the Kool-Aid Man?
And
That's a good
part of
question.
that. There's part of that Vsauce thing, but they assume he's like normal tempered glass, which he's obviously
Which
not.
he couldn't be.
Yeah,
There's no
'cause
way.
normal tempered grass would crack. So
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's very interesting. I really love
didn't
the
think
first.
about
I
weight.
love that they found the little comic packets or whatever.
Yeah.
Where he's gone through time and busted through steel to be in space. Awesome. All right. I really want to see what the arguments are for Macho Man now.
I mean,
All right, we've got Gangsta Luigi 613. Love the name. The Macho Man wins. He's fought Spider-Man, Hulk Hogan, and destroyed many worlds as Wrestler. If anybody doesn't know,
Yeah.
there was this awesome show in the 90s and early 2000s called Dexter's Laboratory, which had its own show within it. And there's a character named Wrestler who's basically, what was that one Marvel character who had Battle World and stuff? I can't think of his name.
Mongol?
I don't think it was that. Anyway, he was like a spoof of that. But the fact that he's fought Spider-Man. Oh,
He's
okay.
talking about because he's Bonesaw.
Yeah, when he's going undercover as Bonesaw. That's right.
Okay, right.
Of course.
I mean, he lost.
He did.
He did, but he whooped on him for a
And
while.
you can't say he wasn't prepared because everyone knows that Bonesaw is ready. Always.
Well, okay, I mean, this is bringing in his fictional,
Yeah, but
performances.
I mean, Kool-Aid Man in his entirety is fictional.
Nick, read
So-
the next one.
That's true.
Okay,
Yeah, we
read
missed,
the
we
next
missed
one.
the second one.
Yeah, go back. This is amazing.
All right, Eric Lang says Kool-Aid Man's limbs are too short to get up if he fell over, and professional wrestling's mostly making people fall over.
that's something.
That.
I will completely agree with that because obviously his legs are tiny. They are itty bitty.
So in
comparison.
the end, this really comes down to one thing.
Can he tip him over?
Which one will fall over first and the other one will get on top of them?
Well, it's
perfect.
Not necessarily, because here's what happens. Even if he falls over, he's still like a semi-spherical object. He can roll. So like, just because you knock the Kool-Aid Man over, he can use his limbs to at least push him. He can start rolling, and then we talk about his weight.
What
And
if
he
Macho Man just pushes him into a corner and then like,
Kool-Aid Man can't go
See,
anywhere.
the problem is that Kool-Aid Man is not a perfect sphere, so he doesn't have, he can't
He's
go
around
everywhere.
his-
Like,
around
you
his
just
kind of go
keep-
in a circle.
You just keep the open end
yeah,
on yours. Yeah, so then he can
Yeah,
just.
he's larger.
That's all
He
he can
just
do.
can move in a circle, and it's not that bad. I mean,
He's completely defeated at that
And as
point.
he's doing that, the Kool-Aid is just sloshing out.
He
Yeah.
loses
Losing
all the
weight
Kool-Aid,
in-
so he might be able to lift himself up easier. But
But
I
he
think
won't be able to
can't-
crush Macho Man
to be
anymore.
fair,
Go ahead.
also, like he has a bunch of liquid inside of him sloshing around. So all really he has to do is catch him like, you know, on the slosh when the weight's going that way, and it'll help tip him over. He's not gonna be balanced. Like the guy, like half his center of gravity is literally moving inside of him. Like, you know, it's
But here's the deal.
It's not balanced.
Kool-Aid Man has exceptional uncanny balance because he busts through shit all the time and doesn't even stumble.
Or maybe he doesn't, and that's why he keeps ruining people's houses. He just like he can't slow down.
He can't slow down.
He's not. His motor skills are garbage. Like he
I've been
always
trying to get in through the
Juggernaut.
front door this whole time.
It's clear he has no manners at
That's
all.
true.
Like I mean,
He's very rude.
Yeah, quite.
But at least
Like
he makes up
you
for
think
it.
a batch of Kool-Aid? Yeah, I will just make a giant like 6 foot wide hole inside of your house, and then just bring you a couple pitchers of Kool-Aid
Well,
to see if that makes up for it.
From a kid's perspective, they don't care. Because it's,
that's not what we're doing
Hey,
here.
Kool-Aid, and they're done. They're already moved
We're not
on.
doing. We're not having this fight from a kid's perspective.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
How many people do you think have died from Kool-Aid Man unsuspectingly barging into their homes? Like all it takes is for somebody to be on the same wall that he busts through. And
and also,
that all falls on them.
after the commercial is done, you know, it's possible the foundation of the very house could be damaged, and
no
then the
doubt.
wall tumbles.
Yeah.
Possibly the floor crumbles. Some more damage is going to be happening there.
Yeah.
Somebody could get seriously hurt.
Yeah, well, we're not debating morals here. We're just trying to see who would kill the other one if they had to
Also,
fight.
something tells me he can't swim.
Kool-Aid Man.
He would just kind of float.
Yeah,
given his
he's like-
shape.
I guarantee you, there's some sort of tropical thing. He's probably just like chilling in the ocean or
He
something.
probably has like a surfboard or an inner tube, something.
It's
like
probably
that.
like a
Yeah,
brightly
yeah.
colored inner tube, and
Yeah.
I can picture it in my head.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Weird as
I
that
think
is
if
to
he
say.
fell
Yeah.
into the water, he would. I mean, I don't think
Well, okay,
he
if he-
probably doesn't drown either. I mean, his
Yeah,
life
no, he'd
blood
just
is
walk
liquid.
along the bottom and then come
guess,
back
yeah.
out. Like Godzilla surfacing
Yeah.
from
If he empties himself of Kool-Aid, though, and as long as he can like maintain his balance or whatever, and not keep his open end from dipping into the water,
Yeah.
should be able to just float indefinitely without having to try, right? You'd
Maybe.
think.
Probably.
I mean, if he doesn't have Kool-Aid in him, then yes.
I mean, I
would be
think it just
buoyant. 'Cause he's
depends,
glass,
like-
and he's cup-shaped.
If Randy Savage has like one of those things that you use to break your windows in case if like your car is drowning, and if he's got one of those in glove box, game over.
I don't think so.
He's just
He
gonna shatter
busted
him.
through steel.
Yeah, I
in
know.
space.
But if you focus it all into
Yeah.
one point,
Exactly.
that
I
might
know.
make
Big,
a
big thing with
difference.
glass.
I think, yeah, the fact that he survived the busting through steel in space, and Kool-Aid Man has clearly gone through some more fantastical adventures than Macho Man. I think he's got an advantage there.
Yeah.
I think he's got an advantage in the fight overall.
So you guys determine. Like I said, I'm staying out of this one because I've done.
This
some digging
sounds
into
like
this.
a pretty good toss-up. I'm still on Team Macho Man for
Okay.
what it's worth. That's where my vote goes.
I am going Macho Man too. I think. Well, I don't know how. Like, was Macho Man secretly like really smart?
The thing that
or
I didn't
anything?
like is that, well, it depends on how we're going to use Macho Man. Like, are we using just Macho Man the wrestler, or are we using all of his personas?
I mean, if
like
we're bringing
the
Wrestler
Dexter's
into it, then
Lab
Wrestler
stuff,
might
like,
win.
Yeah.
But
No, I think that's like kind of the only way to do it. Or else you're just having like
yeah, but Wrestler isn't Macho Man.
I know, but not maybe Wrestler, but still like
Maybe Bonesaw, because Bonesaw's basically
Yeah,
Macho
yeah.
Man, just a different version of him in the Spider-Man universe, I guess.
right.
He beat Peter's spider sense a couple times. And
Which
that
is
is
Did
just-
he?
Which is complete.
He whacked him with a chair
Yeah,
like
yeah.
4 times.
Was that after Peter had discovered the Spider? I guess it would have been.
Yeah, cool. That's why he goes to be a wrestler, but he's new to it.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, he is new
Macho
to
Man
it,
is
but
fast
still.
enough to beat Peter Parker's spider
But,
sense.
oh God.
To be fair, also, wrestlers really love hitting their opponents with other things like baseball bats. So keep that in mind. It's not like he's just gonna do some wrestle moves on him. Like he's gonna get like
He's getting a
probably,
weapon of some
like I
kind.
mean,
That does
they are
require the
big.
basketball to be the basketball bat, the baseball bat to be available somehow to him.
Yeah.
I
We'd
mean,
have to find it, or unless he's just bringing a baseball bat with him.
we're fighting in America. There's one somewhere, you know. Like,
You just keep fighting until they get to a
whatever.
baseball
and
field.
wrestlers aren't picky, like rakes, whatever, you know,
Rocks.
rocks.
Just
like,
keep breaking into people's backyards.
tables,
You'll find
chairs,
something.
like most things are weapons for wrestlers. So
As long as it's heavy,
yeah,
it can be used.
yeah, anything they find that can bonk somebody, they're bonking them.
I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, Sam?
I think depending on the environment and everything, in his personal knowledge of how glass works, if even works like that for him. I think Macho Man's gonna take it, but
Agreed.
Man, you're really staying out of this, Chad?
I'm trying to stay out of
Because we
it.
got 1 vote for Kool-Aid Man and 2 for Macho Man.
Well, then I'm going to say Kool-Aid Man to keep it.
Just tie it.
We'll have to do it in a DBX or something.
I guess
Let's
so.
see. The thing about that is like DBX is really fun. They're really great. But it's really just to show off some cool animation and some fun matchups and things like that. We don't do a lot of research when it comes to
Yeah.
DBX. We still want it to be like kind of a reasonable outcome.
Yeah.
But like
it's not the venue to answer this question with.
right, and that's what's so
Like,
hard because it's just like, do we dedicate a full Death Battle episode
Oh my God.
to this?
100%. You know the
See,
one that I want
yeah,
to
well, I was
do.
about to say, you just want this as a gateway excuse to
Well,
then do the one that you want to do.
We
I don't know.
do this. We make this happen. It just means that Hermione Granger versus Juggernaut is gonna have
No,
to happen
not that
eventually.
way.
That's not the one I'm that's a complete
There's another one?
Yeah,
you know about it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's keep talking about stuff they don't know about. It'll be great.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
that one has to happen.
Yeah.
That's why we're keeping it a secret, because we love it. But I mean, speaking of DBX, really quick, because I know you want to get to the ad read real fast. But before you do that, I do want to talk a little bit about the DBX that just came out this past weekend. Donimations came back to DBX to animate Link versus Meta Knight, just in time for the Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it was great.
actually. I didn't even realize it was lining up that way, to be perfectly honest, but it did. So definitely go check that out if you can after you watch this. Chad,
Yeah,
go-
really
go
cool
for it.
animation. The fight was kind of a close shave.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Speaking of close shaves, everyone. Well, like Ben said earlier, big thanks to Dollar Shave Club for sponsoring this episode of the Death Battle Cast. Look at that. It really helps us out. Honestly, getting sponsors like this is really important for us to keep doing the show. So please support our sponsors. I'm gonna tell you just a little bit about Dollar Shave Club. So listen, there's no reason to use a cheap disposable razor or pay ridiculously high prices for some gimmicky thing that's got like a laser pointer and 17 blades, right? Which I think I've seen that there's always so many commercials where like sometimes they just start like Astro Super Glide Flex Hinge that
Yeah,
perfectly
yeah.
curves, like
20 blades.
Yeah, and they just keep
It's like some Tony Stark technology.
Yeah, like
it's got like wrist rails from an assault rifle on it. Like, it's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
whatever.
Attach your laser pointer. Yeah, exactly. So listen, make the smarter choice and join Dollar Shave Club. So before you know, you're pretty much your two choices are like I'm sure everyone knows here from shaving is like you go, okay, I need to shave, and you're like, do I buy that super expensive razor that has like a bajillion blades or anything, or do you go like, no, I'll get the bag of disposable ones,
Yeah.
and then you're just like, what have I done? And you're just raking your face, and it's just red and bleeding and
It's
awful.
not fun. No, it's not fun.
So here's the deal. Dollar Shave Club is the best of both worlds. You get a premium shave at the disposable price. So we've got a box of it right here. So I'm gonna show you guys.
Unboxing?
super quick. Yeah, unboxing. It
Say
even comes in
what?
this sweet like. I wonder if they cut those holes with this razor.
Unboxing, just pull
Pull it out,
everything
just fling it
out.
everywhere. Check it out.
It's the best kind of unboxing.
You got this cool box, right?
Pass me something.
Here, you can have the post-shave cream. It
I
helps
love,
keep your
the
face.
post-shave cream.
then-
Dr. Carver's.
And then they have shave butter, which makes it nice and smooth when you're cutting and shaving.
Butter.
Just
For
heads
shaving.
up, the era of peaceful shaving is upon us.
This
That's what this says.
And here's the thing too. I will never forget the first time I picked up a Dollar Shave Club razor blade because I pulled it out and I was like, whoa! Like it's got some weight
beefy.
to it. Oh, you listen.
Yeah.
Like I'm not kidding.
All right.
They're stout.
Yeah, it is a solid quality razor. See that I can just throw it on the table with reckless abandon, and it's fine, ready to go.
Now shave right now.
That would
Demonstrate.
hurt, probably. I mean, I could put on the shave butter, but
Do it
with
without
no
Can you
water?
shave for the rest of this episode?
Real slow
I mean,
shave.
you
got the
Slow
most to lose.
shave.
Like, you know what? No, I'm confident.
You can do. You can
Wow, it did that dry and it didn't even really feel that bad. That was good.
good razor.
So listen, you can get a close, smooth shave every time, and you can't beat the convenience or the price of Dollar Shave Club. If you haven't tried it yet, then you guys are missing out. It's an amazing shave at an affordable price. So right now, they're giving away a 1-month free trial. Oh, sorry, a 1-month trial of any of their razors for $1 with free shipping. After that, it's just a few bucks a month. There's no long-term commitments, no hidden fees, and you can cancel whenever you want. So go get your $1 trial at dollarshaveclub.com/cast. That's dollarshaveclub.com/cast. Seriously, use that URL. Go check them out. It's $1. Check it out. You'll be pleasantly surprised.
Pretty much the cheapest razor you can get
Yeah.
of significant quality.
I keep
Yeah, you can weaponize it. Not that
Let's
they're
not
promoting
do
that,
that.
but you can.
Yeah, I'm sure they really want that.
You too can shoot sharp things at your friends.
Sure, don't. Oh, this guy's.
Oh, you can get some distance.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, cool.
I'm glad I'm way over here.
Oh,
Right.
challenge accepted, Benjamin.
A responsible father, everybody.
Yes.
I like it. Yeah.
Father of...
Wow.
I love that his
Wow.
instinct was to catch. I told you can get some distance with
yeah,
it.
you're legit gonna cut somebody. They got sharp ass
Yeah.
razors.
Yeah, put those
Don't
on.
mess with them.
Shaving device and razor launcher.
That's right.
Available now.
Fair enough.
DollarShaveClub.com/cast. Thank
Go
you,
there.
Dollar Shave Club.
Thank you.
All right.
So
That was.
I got something I wanted to talk about.
What do you want to
You?
talk about here?
Yeah. Did you guys hear about the Iron Fist stuff?
I did. I heard. Okay, so some people got to see basically a preview of the show. It's the first 6 episodes out of like 13, and apparently it's not very good. That's what I'm hearing.
Which
Yeah.
is, for those who don't know, Iron Fist is a new Marvel show on Netflix.
Along the lines of Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Daredevil. This is the next in their like gritty, mature Netflix series.
Yeah, and all of them have been good. So I
Is
still
this
need
one going along the same tone that is gritty, more darker corners of New York City or whatever?
Yes, that's my understanding of it.
Okay.
Maybe it's not. I heard it's not as dark as those, but dark enough.
So let me tell
gritty
you,
enough.
if you watch the preview, it looks like you're watching Green Arrow. Like, because
Okay.
like, rich
you thought Green Arrow?
son of rich tycoon is on a trip, and then something bad happens, and he gets lost for years, and then he shows back up. Is like, hey, I'm the son of the rich. No, the thing is, his parents died on the plane, so it's a little different.
Well, no, because then it's
Throw
just like
some
Batman
in
Begins.
there, yeah.
Yeah. But so yeah, like when you're watching the preview too, I remember seeing it too, because you see the plane crash. And
Wait.
They're like, "Where's he been
So
all this
I don't
time?"
know much about Iron Fist. So Iron Fist's origin is that he was on a plane
Yeah.
with his parents, and then something crashed,
Which
Yes.
sounds like Lara Croft.
and
that
then he
part.
fell out or whatever and survived, and the parents died.
Yes.
That is literally the origin for Cyclops,
Ah.
another Marvel character.
Yeah. But
That's
anyway,
weird.
what happens is he's gone for a long time, but he shows back up. But now he knows like kung fu, right? Because apparently he found the monastery. It's I'm blanking on the name of it, like Louis Kuhn or something like that. Or whatever. It's
Like
Lin
Iron
Kuei.
Fist
Lin Kuei.
dojo.
Yeah,
Lin Kuei, not
Yeah, Lin Kuei. Now we got
Kombat.
Mortal Kombat in this. But anyway, so he shows back up.
Sector shows up.
yeah.
He's the main villain.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
that be something?
I didn't really follow like Iron Fist, Luke Cage that much at all in comics, so I'm not a big expert on this. But the thing I want to talk about is, like Nick said, people like Marvel's been doing such a good job lately.
Yes.
For the most part with movies, and then also these Netflix series. Netflix has been killing it, right?
Yeah,
They've been
pretty
really
great.
solid for the most part.
Yeah, well, apparently everyone says, like, not only is this one, like, not as good, they're like, it's garbage. Like, they're saying, like, it is just awful. And there's just, I haven't heard
Who is saying this though?
critics,
Just
like, across the board.
everyone.
Okay.
Like I read a Polygon article and it had this one paragraph in there. Like it's just slamming this thing the whole way through. But they had this one paragraph that honestly sold me on wanting to watch this thing. They described this one bizarre moment where, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it's Danny Rand, the main character, Iron Fist. He's like needing to find something out. Apparently, a hobo literally walks up to him with a phone that he just stole and asks him if he feels like Googling anything. So he does that, and then the hobo just dies within the episode.
I think it was the next episode. They said, inexplicably, this hobo dies with no
With
flushing
no,
out.
no
like-
repercussions to the narrative, no reason given. It sounds like okay, when you have like
That
a bad
can't be right. That can't be real. A random hobo shows up with the convenient device for him to Google something and then just goes off and dies.
Listen, I will be very disappointed if it doesn't happen exactly as it's described. I want that now.
Wouldn't it be funny if they just made 6 like purposely mediocre episodes to show critics just to get like noteworthy buzz and people talking about it, and then they just release it and it's not. Those are not
The show
episodes
comes out and
it's
it's
actually
edited
good.
completely differently.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
got a
It comes
whole
out like
different
this
story.
month. It comes out like really soon, I think. Sometime this month, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, well,
Yeah, so
I mean, I hope it's not that bad.
I don't know. I'm kind of interested to check it out. And the reason I want to talk about it on the show, and I'm not just saying blindly believe, everything the critics say. Like, you should definitely check it out and determine for
yeah.
yourself.
I'm gonna watch it, too.
But that's why I'm interested, because they are slamming it. And after normally people have been just singing Netflix's praises and all these shows that they're doing, and yeah, it apparently is just garbage. And I'm kind of happy either way. If it's good, That's great for Marvel, comics in general, and we'll see where they go.
As long as it's not middle of the line mediocre.
Right,
Yeah, it's got to be one extreme
one
or
or the other. If it's just total trash, that you're just like, how did this train wreck get made? I'll watch it because I love watching shitty movies. Sam hates it, but like,
Trash or treasure, we'll accept either. Bring them on.
exactly. And it's crazy because this is the second controversy, and the first controversy was stupid.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
The first controversy that this show came under fire for was because there's a lot of Oriental themes with Iron Fist.
Yeah.
People were like, "You should have cast an Asian actor,"
I
and then
heard that.
everyone, and then like a bunch of people got on board, like, "Oh yeah, because not enough Asian actors get like primary roles," and like that may be true, but the character in comics is white and from America.
Yeah, the criticism I think mostly comes from the white savior trope they call it, where basically this white guy shows up, learns Asian culture's like own martial arts, and then shows all of them up in it. That's
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Yes, Doctor
Yeah.
Strange is actually a good example of that.
Okay, so in Iron Fist, the character's name is Danny Rand.
Yeah.
Is it important that he's a foreigner, a white guy coming to an Asian thing?
I have no idea. Everything I know about Iron Fist, I know from Marvel vs. Capcom.
Okay.
that's the
'Cause
extent of my knowledge.
Probably only from the outsider perspective. I don't think it really would be that important that he was.
I highly doubt that the color of his skin matters. It's the fact that he's a foreigner, which, I mean, you could have an Asian person from America just have a
Right,
plane
well,
crash,
there's-
but still, I mean, the original character is that. I mean,
Well, the way I look
See
at
what
it, there's two ways I think to look at it. One, and there's two really good examples of this. So you remember when the Fantastic Four movie, Fan Four Stick, was announced, and they cast what is that actor's name? Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
As
Johnny Storm.
Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
There's a black guy playing a typically white character, and
Right.
some people had a problem with that, and other people came to that defense, and there's really nothing to argue there, I think, because it doesn't really matter to Johnny Storm what race he is, so long as it makes some sense why he's Sue Storm's brother in some relation.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter what race he is.
Right.
But then there was also the whole controversy with I'm lacking on names, but the guy. Well, there was the Ghost in the Shell one,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is
they had it with DBZ too,
which
Yeah.
is
and they're having
Dragon Ball
Oh God,
Evolution.
they're having it with
but the thing
Akira
that really
as
stands
well.
out to me is the Ninja Turtles controversy with Shredder.
Oh yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
William Fichtner
Yeah.
was announced to be playing Shredder, and it is a major part of Shredder's story that he comes from Japan.
Yes.
He founds the Foot Clan in Japan.
And has a history with
He has a
Splinter
history-
and or Hamato
Right.
Yoshi,
He has a
yeah.
history with Japanese martial arts. Naturally, it sounds like he should be a Japanese, character, a Japanese person. And that's
Definitely.
where the distinction comes into play for me. So if Iron Fist, if it doesn't matter to his character that he's a foreigner,
Yeah.
then it probably doesn't matter what race he is, and maybe they should have done an Asian actor just
Yeah.
to get something in there because
would assume
they don't
there's-
really have all that much. Even in Marvel, is there an Asian main character like in the movie universe or in the Netflix series? I don't think there is.
No, but in the comics, I know that there's some.
Well, they've been doing a lot of that lately,
Right.
especially
Yeah.
with the new Marvel, all new Marvel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's fitting because the current Venom is actually a man named Lee Price, and if memory serves, he is of Asian descent,
Oh, okay.
I believe.
Yeah, my thing, and I get where you're going from. That it's if it doesn't really matter, then who cares, right? But yeah, and I guess that's probably the right way to look at it. I'm such a I just want things to be represented. If it's something I grew up with like that, just represent the character that way. Now I understand that obviously times were different back then too, so there was way too much skew into being white males as the hero.
Yeah, word.
So I can get that for the argument, and
they-
I understand what you're saying.
They wrote it that way without a second thought because that's what would sell comics.
Yeah.
Right.
But for me, it's just I wouldn't back that controversy of you should make him an Asian actor when the character clearly is supposed to be an American white guy. But I don't know.
On the other side, I wouldn't say you shouldn't make him some other color. It doesn't really matter.
It wouldn't have pissed me off either
Yeah,
way. Let me put it
okay.
that way, and I just don't see why people are getting so mad about it.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
I don't know enough about Iron Fist to really put
Yeah,
a
yeah.
stake in that.
Right.
I don't
Same.
know. It's entirely possible that there is a reason why he's a foreigner, and then he goes
Yeah.
into this environment and he learns, like the Doctor Strange character.
Even
I
then-
understand why he is a rich white guy who gets taken down a peg and has to go find other means to bring himself back. Like
Yeah.
that
From
makes
the-
sense. And making him like really the race doesn't matter when it comes down
Right,
to
it
it.
doesn't.
But changing it would feel odd because
Yeah.
that's what you would be thinking about whenever you're watching
and-
the movie.
It's just to play devil's advocate. If they did make him Asian, it would be a little like it would almost be borderline racist that the only Asian Marvel superhero in that thing is like a kung fu master. Like it would just be, I would be like, yeah, it seems like you're
can't win.
stereotyping with this guy a little bit.
You can't win.
I don't. I,
Yeah,
like,
there is
I-
no winning when it comes
I
to the
complain
topic.
about
Yeah.
it occasionally. Like I think the cast of Akira is a little weird. But there's situations where you should.
Who's
Akira's
Ghost of-
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, well,
which is
Oh, yeah.
weird.
What?
Well, I was excited
Yeah, I
for.
believe that's what it is.
Are you guys interested in Ghost in the Shell?
I am.
I am.
So I was kind of like, because I love the original anime, but
Yeah.
like that, I feel like I'm gonna watch this movie and I'll be like, I'll just want to watch the anime. And then I saw the trailer when we were going to see Logan,
Yeah.
and they like pretty much shot for shot recreated the scene where she jumps off the building and
Yeah.
swings in and busts through the glass. And whenever I see, this is back what I'm talking about, whenever I see something represented very well that is true to the source material, I get excited because then I'm
Yeah,
like,
they pulled it out of
cool.
the
They
anime well.
they care. They know. They're looking into it. So like, that definitely piqued my interest into watching the movie. So I'll probably watch it.
Yeah.
But who's
Yeah.
is it like Scarlett Johansson?
Scarlett Johansson is
Yeah.
playing Major. Also, they changed her name. It's like Mira now.
Something like
It's
that.
not Motoko.
I think the last name is still Kusanagi.
I think so. I
I believe
could be
it's
heard
wrong.
Mira
that.
Kusanagi instead of Motoko
Yeah.
Kusanagi.
Like I don't know why, but
Motoko.
Yeah.
Motoko.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is it Motoko?
Yeah, I thought it was Motoko as well, and then I
Motoko,
watched the first
Motoko.
episode. They said
I'm
Motoko.
white. I don't know. I don't know how this stuff
There we are,
works.
back on it.
I don't know if it's a skin
This is
color.
a-
It's more of an educated thing, but whatever. You know, we can let it lie.
I wish we had
Yeah.
Torian on this episode.
What? So then Nick could just get. Oh, he's black.
Yeah,
And then we.
He knows everyone knows these
Why
words.
is that the thing that I'm now known for?
Because it's funny and it makes you uncomfortable.
It is fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, like, who cares as long as there is diversity?
Yeah. There you go. Thanks, Sam. I
Yeah.
feel like we just shoot a rainbow of learning out after that and like,
Just
Perfect.
depends.
Well, I bring up Shredder earlier because for some reason I decided
don't
to
you mean
watch
Eric Sachs?
Eric Sachs.
Or
Well, for
whatever
some
it was.
reason I decided to watch the sequel to that.
Oh, Out of the
For the
Shadows.
first time, like 2 weekends ago. I never seen it. I never saw it in theaters. I didn't really care to see it.
I don't think I've
It's,
seen the sequel.
It's less sucky than the first one.
Well, I was watching it and I was thinking everybody panned this movie when it came out, and
Oh, wait, I
it's
did.
the one with Bebop and Rocksteady.
Oh,
and,
I saw it.
And
Because
everybody was saying it was complete shit, and while it was more, like maybe a little bit better than the last one because it was a more cohesive story, it still was completely crap. I'm watching this and I'm sitting here, and as it's finishing up, I'm thinking to myself, I feel like if I were 15, 20 years younger, the feelings that I would have watching this movie would be the exact same feelings I had when I watched Secret of the Ooze.
yeah,
It felt so similar to me. It was a
Totally.
messy film. It wasn't great,
So is Secret
but I had a lot of
I
fun
mean,
with
That's
it.
true.
And Secret of the Ooze, I like Secret of the Ooze, and it's a shitty film.
Yeah, no
but
doubt.
Yeah.
I have fun watching it, and
So-
I feel like a lot of people could get the same thing from Out of the Shadows.
Comparing it to Secret of the Ooze, I think is fair. It's really campy and silly and cartoony, but usually it's kind of fun.
Although
There-
Stephen Amell is horribly miscast, as he's a fine guy. I like the guy. I think he's
Yeah.
a great actor, but
For sure.
not Casey Jones.
Yeah.
especially not that version of Casey Jones.
yeah, and like and the
He's like the bright-eyed cop
Yeah,
in this movie.
should
That's,
not have-
no, he's supposed to be like crazy vigilante man who
Yeah,
smacks people with.
But he has
Well,
rage issues because if you need to get a cell phone from a bartender, you just throw shit at the bar.
Until he brings you the cell phone tracker.
Yes, yeah, I'm sure you have just the track. Yeah,
Which
there's
looked like a walkie-talkie.
Dude.
I don't know what.
no, it's just like an old Motorola.
Why would it not just be another phone?
Sam, if you haven't seen it,
I have
like
not.
I didn't finish it because I was watching it on a plane and then the plane landed and I was like, maybe I'll get back to that someday.
No.
Yeah.
The first half is not that great. The second half is where it gets kind of fun.
So the part there's a whole just scene in the movie that it just made me uncomfortable.
Was
and,
it?
And yeah, I mean, do you want to guess what it is? Because I'm sure you know what it is.
Was it when Bebop and Rocksteady look down their own pants?
No, it was not actually.
I didn't
wasn't
have
the
as much
part-
of a problem with that as I thought I would. Actually,
No, that
watching
was
it.
just kind of a whatever.
You're talking about the Megan Fox.
I'm
scene.
talking about the Megan Fox scene because Megan Fox doesn't want to work with Michael Bay anymore.
Oh my god! This
because of
contrived shit that
because
happens.
of how weird, like the experience is working with him apparently with like and so, I was reading an article about that before, like way before, and so that was always in the back of my mind. And then Megan Fox is in this one, right? Because she's got to be, because she's April O'Neil. And
Well, Michael Bay's not directing. He
He's
does
not-
not direct
he's
these.
not
This is
directing,
the
that's right.
Same director as Battlefield LA or whatever that movie
Okay.
was called.
That movie was
but
excellent.
what did he do?
Yeah,
with this?
it's the
He's-
same director.
He's producing there, right?
Yeah, he produced both of them. He didn't direct either.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bay produced.
So there's a scene where she's walking through the mall, and she has to go because after she already like got super dressed up to hit
Here,
on Baxter
yeah.
Stockman, then the thing that she was hacking by putting close to his computer wasn't done, and so the assistant took it, and she has to go catch the assistant and the thing he's carrying so that she can have her phone near it long enough so it finishes downloading the magical Bluetooth information or whatever the fuck.
This is the
And-
lengths that the screenwriters go to get Megan Fox to dress sexy.
Yeah, yeah. And so what she determines is that they're in like New York Central Station or something like that, and she's walking through and she looks and assesses the situation.
She's
And
following the assistant who
following-
has this data pad that she needs to download stuff from by getting within 3 feet.
her plan after she assesses the situation because she sees a lot of tourists and things like that. She goes walking by a department store, and the long and short of it is transforms herself into a schoolgirl. Okay, with a skimpy skirt, ties up her shirt right so that she's showing her stomach. Grabs this other group of schoolgirls as the guy's walking by, grabs the dude and goes, "Hey girls, let's take a picture with him or whatever." But the whole scene where she's changing and
It's all
getting
slow
all like,
motion
oh my
and-
god, dude, I was watching that and I just went,
It's
Like-
almost. It's so ridiculous. It's almost hilarious.
Yeah.
Because the whole scene in and of itself is so contrived. She has to sit next to Baxter Stockman.
and hit on him.
And at least get near. For some reason, she's got some device from Donatello that's supposed
Yeah.
to be able to download things from another thing. But for some reason, Donatello programmed it so you can only download things from another thing when you're literally 3 feet away.
Yep.
Not from over here. You got to be up close and personal. I'm away from the mic, but you got to get
Yeah.
really close, and then you can download.
Like what technology?
I know.
I don't
it's-
know. I have no idea. She just pushes a button and it does it. So
Itself.
she sees Baxter Stockman come in, played by Tyler Perry.
yeah,
which is
which-
brilliant. But he was
This is the
actually
first
really
thing
bad
I've-
in the movie, but I didn't care at all. It was
I was gonna
hilarious.
say it's the first time I've ever heard Tyler Perry and Brilliant in
Yeah,
the same
he
sentence.
was really bad. It was really
Okay,
stupid, but
understandable.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny. But so he's just sitting there, and she walks up and just puts her tracker like on the table and
After
starts
she-
talking to him.
She had a wig on and she like
Yeah.
really did up like the lipstick.
She
and, like,
played herself off to be like a pretty
Would-
nerd so that she
would-
could hit on him.
Would she have even? Would he have even known she was April O'Neil journalist? If
She had, like,
didn't
big
do that?
glasses on
No, no,
and,
no.
like, a
but
wig.
if she didn't do that stuff at that point,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, absolutely. Because he's working for the Shredder and they know who April is. When she comes in
Okay.
later and like steals a thing from the lab, they all immediately know who she is. And like,
Yeah.
it's April, go get her.
Yeah.
But she's sitting there, she's hitting on him in this big old wig, and he's like, "Oh, I've never been hit on by a girl before. This is crazy," because he's a nerd, and nerds don't get laid.
I know. It's sorry. It's the whole
But
scene. It just pissed me off.
and like it's clearly made for children.
Yeah,
Why
and-
do you
and-
have this like overly sexual
Yeah.
scene in a movie? Like how confused
No, especially
are
when,
you?
when the assistant takes the data pad, whatever it is, and they're walking through the mall, and she sees these girls. It's like a big line of girls all dressed up exactly like that, with like the tied,
yeah.
the tied shirt
Yep.
and the short skirt. And she sees this, and she's like, "I got this plan." Instead of just walking right behind the dude, she's at like 97% downloaded. She just needs to be next to him for maybe 5 seconds. She could just walk behind him real quick.
She could
bump into him.
bump
Oh,
into him,
whoops!
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
sorry.
No. But they wanted to play dress up with Megan Fox.
Music kicks in. She grabs this thing from one stall, starts putting it on. She rips off the wig, grabs something else, puts this thing on, tears off her shirt, puts another shirt over it,
Does
ties
she-
it up.
Nobody's
It's
like,
this
what is she doing?
Dramatic
Does she-
transformation sequence.
like
Yeah.
does she even pay for it?
No, she steals it. That's the other part
Yeah.
too. She straight up steals the skirt.
Steals everything.
Yeah.
And she does all of this in slow motion before the guy gets away. and,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
gets
yeah.
Then
She's
she
just
grabs,
walking
she
through the
grabs
train
a cowboy
station.
hat grabs the guy with one hand,
puts
puts
like
the
a cowboy hat.
puts the hat on him, and goes, look, girls, I found us a cowboy, and everybody's like, they take pictures or whatever for some reason.
Yeah,
None
nobody
of
was
them
just
question
no one's
who
just like,
this is.
who the fuck are you? Yeah, like.
And none of them are just like, why? Like the guy, he's not like, why the fuck did you just put a cowboy hat on me? Which, I
He's
guess he's
confused.
just like, oh, pretty girls.
He's confused, but nobody else is confused. She just pulls him into this group of girls. They take a bunch of pictures. It finishes downloading. She looks at herself and she's like, or download or whatever. Is like, got it. She just leaves, and nobody reacts.
Yep.
Wow,
And that's the
dumb.
scene.
It's awful. It's one of the worst things.
And the only thing that the scene accomplished was then she calls the turtles and says, I've got some data. Yes, Baxter Stockman is working for the Shredder. The end.
Happy
That's
National
all.
Women's Day, everyone.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, God, we could go on forever about that kind of shit. But yeah, that was my biggest problem with what I'd seen of that movie so far. You remember too, because I came to you and I was just like, oh, I was so mad about that scene. And then we went off on the thing about how
Bebop and Rocksteady were pretty fun, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were just stupid enough to be
can we-
like,
we almost got-
I feel like I'm watching the old show. That's great.
Can we briefly talk about the explanation for why they become a
Well, that
rhino and
was
a
stupid,
warthog?
ancient.
Yeah, the explanation was like within each person lies a dormant ancient gene
That they
belongs to
evolved
another
from.
animal. Yeah, so
I mean,
that's
to
why
be
they become
fair,
a rhino
just
and a warthog.
Yes.
Completely throw
Yeah.
evolution is.
To be
as
fair,
out
in
the
the
window.
Darwin's
cartoon that
face.
the characters come from, the explanation is they touch a rhino, and then they touch the ooze, and it turns them into whatever they last touched.
Yeah.
Like, that's stupid,
easy.
too.
But
But
that's
at least
easy.
it, like, connects.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
like, oh, you have some of this creature's
The
DNA on your
mix,
finger.
right? Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
at least see where
Okay.
it could come from.
Yeah.
Like, Baxter Stockman turns into a fly because a fly lands on his face or something when he gets hit with the ooze. So it's whatever animal they've been in contact with the most.
Yeah.
Splinter turns into a rat because he was playing
the
with
sewer,
rats.
yeah.
And then the turtles show up. He did not turn into a turtle because he found the turtles after he had turned into a rat.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, the movie was shit, but at least I could see why people would find it fun, and I kind of wish they kept making these movies because eventually I think they would get it right.
Yeah, maybe, but
But oh well.
well.
The show, I did catch up on the show a little bit though. The TV Nickelodeon show.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
they actually did an episode where the old turtles that we know from the
Yeah.
80s
Yeah.
came in, and they made them like 3D. They like went into the new Ninja Turtles
Yeah,
world.
They went into the 2D world for a
Yeah.
bit too.
That's
and
awesome.
it was really fun.
That's cool.
It's really neat.
I always
Yeah.
like it when they do because the comics do that stuff where they have the crossovers of the different
Yeah,
versions. And
Well,
that's
they
always
go
really
to the
interesting.
comics world in that episode too.
Yeah.
And those turtles, they think they're like trying to kill them.
Because
So
it's like a lot hardcore.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
yeah.
Like that show's a lot of fun. They just finished season 4, which we could discuss that some other time. There's some major plot points I don't want to spoil, but yeah, season 5 is starting up. It's the last season too.
Wow. Thank you for joining us for the half hour of
Ninja Turtle
Teenage
cast.
Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, we talked about Iron Fist too.
I know.
Yeah.
I was joking.
So no, hey,
swung off
I know we got to
topic,
get to
so.
questions, but I really, this is gonna fuel some debate. We might have to just hold it for a little bit, but I did want to talk. There has been an update, as you guys know. The great cereal mascot battle royale debate
yes.
rages on, and I love that our community has gotten so into it, right? Because I got 2 tweets over this past week that have furthered the controversy, and I wish Torian was here a bit to talk more about it. But let's, John, can you pull those up, please, real fast? First one. So there is a Superman Tricks rabbit.
So he wins.
well,
Oh, he could just be
Well,
cosplaying.
hang
Now-
on. Does he have his Superman powers?
now, and that was the question that I was going to bring up because here clearly, right, he just is dressed up in the suit.
he's
Now,
cosplaying.
He's cosplaying. So we
Whatever.
don't know unless inside that free DC comic, the Tricks Rabbit does something. We'll see.
You're
Does
gonna have to
battle
go to the
with
store
Superman.
and buy a bunch of cereal.
But here's where it gets
this is the one
interesting.
that I saw. This one's great.
This is one that gets really interesting. There is Lucky
that
that has a Green Lantern ring.
and he's making those Lucky Charms float. It looks
Yes.
like. So he's got
Also-
some powers.
Well,
Because
he
that could be his
He could always do that.
leprechaun
if I remember
floating
right.
powers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
also, just to add in though, he's a Green Lantern, so the yellow part of the rainbow will now hurt him. Just
that logo should be devastating.
yeah,
to him.
exactly. Like half the pieces.
Not
of the
anymore.
cereal.
That's not how it works
I
anymore.
believe he's got yellow on his scarf too. That's killing him. Like I mean,
Not anymore. That was Barry Allen. No, not Barry Allen. Sorry, that's Flash. God, why am I blanking on his name?
Hal Jordan.
No, before Hal Jordan. It was the first original Green Lantern. I did a whole Who Is on it. And I can't believe I'm
I don't know.
blanking on it right now. It's the first
OG Green Lantern.
Yeah, the original Green Lantern is just absolutely raking me inside that I can't think of it. He had a weakness to things that were yellow. Like anything that was yellow, he couldn't do anything with. So you could like, it wasn't so much that like you touch yellow to be like, oh god, it's yellow. It'd be like if I threw a yellow chair at him, he couldn't stop it with his powers, and it would hit him the way like a normal
They still
thing would.
have some of that.
Also wood.
Yeah, but they still have
That's
a lot
right.
of that.
It's
I
weird
believe.
though, because green is like really close to yellow on the color spectrum.
Yeah,
So
they
what,
don't-
what decides where that line is drawn? What natural
Alan Scott.
force?
Alan
Yes.
Scott.
Okay, Alan Scott. So I can tell you why the wood thing happened. And the wood thing is just absolutely hilarious, Nick. And that's because way back in the day, there was a super powerful Green Lantern who decided to kind of just like, I'm going to use my powers to just take over worlds. Like, you know, I'm going to take over this world because who's going to stop me? I've got all this power. It's great.
A logical
enough.
thing
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
Well, the gods who had originally created like the lantern power saw this, and they saw how he was abusing it. And he's like, he's getting pretty cocky. And so as a bunch of peasants rise up to go stop him, they're rudimentary peasants, so they only have wood clubs. And at the last moment, they're like, let's teach him a lesson. You have no immunity to wood. So then all the peasants just beat the hell out of this guy, all because it was a sick joke and just right in his face for his hubris.
Oh,
It was great.
that's a
All right.
bummer.
So that carried over? They didn't think to like lift that when somebody less
No,
crafty?
they left it. And they were like, they need to have a check in some way. And then they're just like,
Clearly,
what?
this wood naturally occurring. It's
What?
all
Yeah.
over every planet.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
It's just hysterical to me. If you guys want to learn more about that, you look up the Who Is episode on the original Green Lantern. It was good times. I learned a lot of fun stuff going through Who Is.
There's been a lot of Green Lanterns though. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Very-
tons of them.
There's literally a Green Lantern Corps, which
Yeah,
they're making a
yeah.
movie of.
There's tons.
Maybe, possibly. But let's get to some questions. I think we got 3 questions to go through.
All right, let's hit these.
Stephen Moore, for characters like the Scout from TF2 and Scrooge McDuck, how do you deal with their arsenal?
So characters with a large
Large,
arsenal.
yep.
So we obviously look at everything.
Oh, yeah.
We obviously take an entire arsenal into account. We don't always talk about all the weapons in a character's arsenal simply because it could get redundant. Or there could
Like
be too
Scout's a
much.
great example. Like he's got a couple different types of guns and stuff. It boils down to like, pistols, shotguns, some melee weapons. There's a little more to it than that, but there's nothing that like type A shotgun is gonna do that type B shotgun wouldn't do. If like damage output on one is better, then okay, we'll probably give him that or whatever presents the most relevant strength.
Whatever would work best in the fight, like we make sure is represented when we do the rundown. And I'm really glad somebody asked this question because I see that a lot where people come and they're like, you forgot that he had blank. And it's like,
We
no,
did not
no, no.
forget.
We did not forget. Like we went through their entire arsenal and there's additional ones that we list in the slate. But even
Yeah.
then sometimes like there's so much stuff we can't list it all. But
Yeah, I mean,
we've
when you
totally
did
looked
somebody
at it.
like Batman, he's had 1,000 gadgets. Like we can't
Yeah.
just sit there and go over all of them. You
Yeah.
have to go over ones that are critical and important.
And by
Yeah.
go over, you mean present in the video.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we
We
yeah.
do
highlight.
go through that stuff.
Yeah, we
but
go through everything, but-
if we were to put every single weapon in a Death Battle episode and detail every single one, man, that would be boring.
Yeah, yeah.
So
it'd be
we don't really
boring
want that
and
to happen.
Very
Yeah.
long.
And episodes would never come out, ever.
Yeah, exactly. The three things that we tend to highlight when it comes to showing off like weaponry, if there's a ton, is they're like tried and true OG set that they like always bring with them, right? Like their
Absolutely.
standard stuff. The things that would specifically come into play for this battle, and then also just wacky shit that we find. Those are like our 3 slots that we want to make sure we highlight because
But
that's the
a good way to
relevant
put
stuff.
it. That's
Yeah,
a good way
yeah.
to put it. Yeah.
So there you have it.
Great question.
Yeah, that was a good question.
Question number 2.
From Josh Brown, how long does it take to make a Death Battle episode?
Wow.
A couple of hours. A couple hours. We do it the day before.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wish.
Venom versus
Probably-
Bane. We got to get started on that.
We've got a couple weeks still.
I think.
good.
I think a lot of people don't realize A, how much time it takes, and B, how much like money they cost. Like it's an expensive show just because it's one of us writing an episode, which usually takes 5 weeks. You know,
including research.
Including
not
research.
including preliminary research done by the research team, by the volunteer research team.
Yeah, and then like you throw on animation, like especially if it's Torian doing one, like I mean that's 40 hours a week for 5 weeks, and then Torian's not working 40-hour weeks; he's working like 80 hours. But still, it's literally like 400 man hours probably, like, and that's a low ball.
Yeah, it's a lot of time.
And that's not including your time that you put into it, Chad's time. Like that's just the writer researching, writing, and then the animation essentially. Like if you get even a minimum wage, it's $4,000. Like it's not a like fast and cheap thing we do.
Yeah.
It takes a ton of time.
Yeah, and it depends on certain characters, how much research has to go into it, what kind of animation, how long the animation needs to be, how long the script. Generally, I would say it's kind of a broad number, but a single episode can be done in anywhere between 5 to 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Depending on things.
Yeah.
You know,
Like if you
5-week minimum for like writing everything and like getting all the editing done and stuff. But
and then 5 to 8 weeks for animation.
yeah.
So
If you got a character like Shovel Knight where there's literally one game,
Yeah.
that's a rare exception.
It's the only time I've ever had it. But
Yeah.
it's like that was like
That
Shovel
won't take
Knight
as
took,
long as-
it's like we dug real deep for a week. And then
Doug real deep.
yeah, exactly. And then Scrooge is just like, oh yeah, this guy's been around for 60-some years or something like that. Like, no, it's
and
longer
even
because
then-
he was a part of like World War II comics and stuff. Like it's ridiculous. It's like, oh, okay, we got like 80 years of history to go through here, and it
I
just
actually
takes
have to up
forever.
that number because it's 5 weeks for writing, but then it'd be 5 weeks for animation, plus 5, 6, 7 weeks for animation. So 10 to 15 weeks per episode.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a
lots
while.
of work gets into this.
Yep.
That's
Man.
why we plan ahead a lot.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Question number 3.
Drum roll.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Take it.
Big Boss Moss. Who would win in a sliding race? Or I'm just going to go to the bottom one because I realize that's probably what it is. Oh,
No, it's
never
the top
mind.
one.
Back that way I go. Who would win in a sliding race? Link on his shield or Venom Snake in his cardboard box?
Sounds like a job for a video game Mythbusters. It's time for a slide battle.
Who would win in a sliding race? Link on his shield or
Okay,
wait,
so
Venom Snake?
I think he means Solid Snake in a cardboard
Solid
box.
Snake in a cardboard
okay,
box?
at least that's what I think of. Because in not Solid Snake, but in Metal Gear Solid 5, you can get cardboard boxes and like slide down hills on them and stuff, sneak up. That's what I thought of.
Does Big Boss have a Venom Snake name? I know he's got a couple different
There's
snakes.
a bunch of snakes. Oh, that's
Got it.
5, yeah.
So cardboard box versus Link on his shield?
I'm gonna have to lean toward Link. Okay, I haven't gotten that far in Breath of the Wild, and I have not played Metal Gear Solid 5, but I have seen a clip of somebody in Breath of the Wild as Link starting on top of a snowy mountain and surfing it all the way down, like out of the snowy.
What happens in Twilight Princess?
That happens-
Remember?
Yeah,
you ride
yeah.
it on Twilight Princess, don't you?
You can in this. No, you don't.
You race a
remember.
Yeti or something like that.
Yeah, but you're not on a shield. You're on like a concave chunk of ice.
Well, the thing is, like the Hylian,
you can do it in Breath of the Wild though, on your shield specifically.
The
That's
Hylian
why I
shield is curved. I'm just gonna bang this out real fast.
Sure.
And that is just, I'm gonna give it to Link because he has a much more optimally designed sledding tool. Like the shield is curved.
But the
right?
cardboard
Hylian
box
shield-
you could cut into a sled.
But it's still like even then
Yeah.
it's
Still
you put,
paper.
You put metal to slide
Yeah.
on something compared to cardboard. Like metal's gonna slide farther.
And if you hit a rock, the cardboard's gone.
It's gonna rip.
And if you're on snow, it's gonna
you just don't hit a rock. You just avoid the rocks.
Pretty sure it'll be Link.
Anything but
going with
grass
Hylian shield,
and
Link.
cardboard
Also,
boxes.
Link
Ooh,
has
mirror
like
shield? That shit's gotta be fast.
Link has like magic
Mirror
and
shield
stuff.
just deflects
so
Yeah, but it's a mirror slick polish.
mirror,
But-
you're trying to make something
You got
that's not
details
real.
on the Hylian shield. The mirror shield's just a solid
Nobody's ever said, "Oh, that's mirror slick" before. Like that's not a real thing, Chad.
It'll be
Don't
like
try and
Chevy
make it
Chase
thing.
in National Lampoon's Christmas when he gets on
Christmas
after he
Vacation,
sprayed the
yeah.
thing. Yeah. That'll
That's
be what
gonna be-
happens.
It's probably Link because the shield's a better sledding device,
Yep.
and
Link.
he has magic, and Snake is a human.
Link is quite
But what
no, no.
if
Oh, God.
they're in a sliding race and they're sliding and Link is clearly doing better, so Snake decides he's just going to shoot him.
Well, it's not. This is purely
Then
a
his
sledding
dead
race.
body still slides further than the
No
cardboard
attack, and then he
box.
gets resurrected by fairies in a bottle, and everything's okay.
And then Link shoots him. Snake shoots him
Well,
again.
hang on. I see that
Yeah.
Chad really wants to end this, so I'm going to come up with some other convoluted reason why this argument should still continue.
Well,
Or
I'm
maybe
just
this should be our
trying-
community battle.
I'm just trying to give him a community
But
battle.
and
Yeah.
also, if Link is going forward, because he's sledding, and he would be, and there's things, he could grappling hook and like do little launches.
There you go. He's the hook shot.
He's a hook shot.
Hook shot.
That'll be great.
Oh, that'd be pretty good. He's like constantly. He's got
Yeah,
the double
yeah,
claw shot.
yeah.
He's constantly doing it.
It's
You
kind of
literally
like
go
it's kind of like
cross-country.
It's like skiing, but
it's like
with the claw
maneuver
shots.
gear from Attack
All
on
right, come
Titan.
on. We need to give him
Let's
a
go.
community
Yeah,
battle.
we're going for
I
it.
got plenty of time. There's nothing after this, right?
That's true.
Yeah. Whatever. You guys are rushing to try to meet this 4 o'clock deadline. We don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
I got to
Fine.
write death
Relax.
battle, but
Yeah.
We're okay.
I'm just trying. I'm trying
Everything's
to. I'm
okay.
trying to think of a good community battle. That's all.
So let's come up with one.
That's what I'm trying to do. Let's talk about it.
Lake versus Solid Snake or Venom Snake.
Cement doorstop versus elevator. Head door.
John said cement doorstop versus elevator door. I don't think we're gonna do that one, but
Juggernaut versus
good
Mighty
try.
Granger. By the way, shout outs to everybody on Twitter who's been suggesting the Juggernaut versus Mighty
Stop
Granger and tagging me in it.
skewing our number.
Hey, I said suggest it. People have just been going nonstop.
Yeah, because you told them to.
Just once.
But you're doing it again.
I'm saying thank you. I'm not
Yeah,
saying
Which is implying.
I,
but, like,
okay. Aside from all that fight thing, I don't know if the sizes match up, but you could have Aaron Yeager. Like, that's his name,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Against one of the, are they called Jaegers from
Pacific
Rim?
Rim.
Double Jaeger bitches.
The Pacific Rim ones are a lot
I don't know
bigger.
how much bigger they are, but you know.
compared to Titans.
Double
Yeah, I
Jaeger
don't
can
know.
lead to a bad
Well,
night.
Oh, much
Colossal
larger.
Titan.
They'd have to be much larger. Because they could
yeah,
stand up
I'm
in the
not
ocean.
sure if they.
Yeah.
They're Godzilla size.
Diego would be more maneuverable though.
Yes, Jaeger.
Yeah,
Which
well,
Jaeger?
maneuverable.
Aaron Jaeger?
Aaron would be
yeah,
maneuverable,
he would be, and
obviously,
probably faster. I mean, at least he can start a sprint much
I
faster.
like it.
All right.
You want to do it?
And
I
he's
really
better,
want
like,
to.
Aaron
can-
Yeager versus Gypsy
You know,
Danger Yeager.
Yeah.
He could like rip out a tree and start using it fast. Like the Jaeger's kind of slow.
Plus,
so.
even before he turns into a Titan, as long as he's using his 3D movement gear, if he could somehow kill one of the pilots, that's going to be rough. Because they have to use the two. I don't know. We'll
If he
see.
could get in there, I don't think he could get in there. I don't
Oh, I
know what
didn't
he
even
could
think
do
about
against
that.
a Jaeger.
Because that would be good too in human form with the maneuver gear. You probably, I mean, I don't really think the Pacific Rim Jaegers are built to like swat things out of the sky that size.
I mean, that's true.
They're
They're
not really worried about tiny things.
Well,
So
I say we go with that. That said, I am definitely on Team Gypsy Danger.
Absolutely.
Picks up a cruise ship and uses it as a weapon.
are we? If we're assuming it's Gypsy
Like,
Danger,
forget your trees.
that's the best of the Jaegers.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one of them. It's actually an older model, isn't it, now? Because
Gypsy
then, like,
Danger's
time
one of
goes
the
by
older
later,
models.
and it's one of the older
Ah,
models. So,
okay,
like,
yeah.
Gypsy Danger's a Mark II Jaeger.
yeah.
Tried but true. Okay,
So-
still good enough. We'll go with
Let's do
that.
that. Yeah,
Works.
Gypsy Danger Jaeger versus Aaron Yeager from Attack on Titan.
There we go.
With and without
Nailed it.
Titan form.
Yeah, with
Got
and
it.
without Titan form. I'm looking forward to seeing what he said.
Right.
Or what they
Yeah.
say.
Okay.
We'll see.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know
we'll
what the
see what
heights are.
happens.
Like, it could be ridiculous. Like, if he's the size of it, if
Probably.
he's the size of like the Jaeger's foot, then he's probably screwed.
We
But
did miss out on one thing.
I was just about to bring it up.
One thing
Is
for
it
this show that we
the
need
out
to
of
do before we end.
context
Yeah,
this.
comic
Austin.
book panel?
Austin got it
Yeah.
special for you.
The out of context comic book panel. Let's go ahead and bring that up.
I'm squinting so I can read over here.
Yeah.
All right.
Read it out loud.
Yeah, I'm writing an announcement for the late edition society page, and I'll need the
Invitation.
invitation for reference. We mustn't squash the news, must we? Someday I'll tell her what I'd like to squash. Oh, no. Yeah, I was like, why is this out of context until that last word?
Yep.
Oh
Someday
my God.
I'll tell her
Ooh.
what I'd like to squash. Look at him looking longingly too.
Yeah, and really without the context, it's super hard to say what he wants to squash.
I would bet money on vagina.
I would think maybe that because this looks like, just from the age of it, I'm gonna say 70s, and there was still a bit of that, you and your attitude.
Oh no, dude, the weird insinuation
Beat her
stuff.
in the concrete, like punch her, squash her in the face. That's what you're saying?
Well,
He's gonna
just,
beat her up?
That's very rude.
No, not beat her up, but like squash her ego. Like keep her in the kitchen kind of
That's
attitude.
awful.
Well, that's what a lot of those comics were about.
Oh, I know.
Their characters had those motivations at
Yeah,
least.
and
Like,
they
look at
were
Hank
wrong.
Pym. Look at Hank Pym.
All
Like,
days.
Yeah.
I
have
know.
this
I know.
conversation.
I'm just saying.
I know, right?
Happy International Women's Day.
Yep.
We've talked about belittling and objectifying women enough for one day on this day of all days. God damn it! I'm sorry.
We don't mean it. We're just dumb.
No, we're not
No,
talking.
we're not talking about.
it.
We're not
We're-
supporting it. We're just
No.
Yeah.
We just happen to be bringing it up because the stuff
Yeah.
that we're talking about happens to deal with it for some ironic reason.
Well,
I
I think
don't know.
that one was clearly for today.
What I don't know what we were going through. It was either like Venom Bane or something with comics. The other day I was digging through some stuff and I kept coming across panels where somebody would insinuate something like that. Like God, it was like all these, just even like superheroes, like making a little, like little jab. One of them was, I don't know why I had a Superman comic up, but Superman made some comment to Wonder Woman. This is in the Injustice comic. That's why we had it up, because we were looking into Bane and Injustice. And it was, like Superman made something about like, can't wait to get you back to like.
Oh God, dude! Back in the comics, Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that shit. Like it was rampant.
Yeah.
Well, the Injustice comic is evil Superman. So
Yeah.
I can
Right,
see that
exactly.
being a thing.
Yeah.
But that was pretty common back in the day.
You know what'd be funny? We should totally do like a top 10 superhero pickup lines or something like that, like where they just like, because I'm sure we could find some good ones. Like we could do worse too. That would be fun. But like, I bet we could find some just absurd shit like that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That's not a pickup line, but sure, whatever.
I mean, yeah, but like
You spin it like they're trying to.
someday I'd tell her what I like to squash, like,
I mean, a lot of them are probably going to
Spin
come
that as a
from
pickup line.
Yeah.
like old school Iron Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of that stuff.
Daredevil.
Yep.
Hey, baby.
Yeah,
Let me
Daredevil's
tell
pretty
you what I want to squash.
Yeah.
As a pickup line.
But it doesn't just have to
Pretty
be
good.
But it doesn't have to just be
Pretty
guys
good.
hitting on girls. I mean, we can have girls picking up on guys and all sorts, whatever we want. I'm sure there's a bunch in there. We'll see how it goes. That might be a thing that happens. It might not.
You can do that work.
You can send us your favorite
No,
pickup
I mean
lines.
you,
No.
Chad.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you make it, if you have an idea, it's your responsibility.
Yeah,
That's
don't
usually how it
put
works
that
here.
on them.
Yeah.
Don't put that on them. They already had to figure out the community death battle, which I don't even remember what it was.
It was the Jaeger battle.
That's
Yeah,
right,
Jaegers.
the Jaegers.
All right, remember, it's Aaron Yeager from Attack on Titan versus the Gypsy Danger Yeager from Pacific Rim. Both of them after an obscene amount of shots of Jaeger.
I like that. That is great.
Enough
Sure
to get
that.
either drunk.
Yes.
I don't think robots can get drunk, but the pilots
the
can.
pilots-
be.
pilots
Both
can.
pilots are
Pilots
drunk,
can
and
be.
Aaron himself is drunk.
And the robot is drunk too.
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
And
Both the pilots and the
his
robot.
swords. Everything is drunk.
Everything is drunk.
All right.
All right,
good.
I guess we're
We did
wrapping it up with that.
Nailed
Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Death Metal Cast, guys. I know that got all over the place, but that's what we do
little
here.
bit.
Places, yeah.
That's
But
what
it's
we
fine.
do here. So we do this show live every Wednesday for first members on roosterteeth.com and screwattack.com, and it goes up on YouTube and iTunes, right?
Yep.
I wasn't here last week. I got to
Yep,
catch up.
on
I got to
Friday.
figure out how this stuff works every Friday. So once again, thank you for joining us. We will see you all next week.
Adios.
Later.
Bye.